one of the best things that we can do is arrive at a space in our life where we realize that finding a way to win the battle in our mind is not just optional, but essential for our survival. And guys, I want to tell you there, I am at that point in my life. The peace and the presence of God, the ability to win the war in my mind, isn't just something that I kind of want, but it's something that I need. Not just for my sake, but I have 3 kids to pass on. I have people that depend on me. And so do you. And so this morning, I wonder, is there anybody else here desperate to win the war in your mind? Because every day you get up with this plan, and the plan is good, but somewhere it goes sideways. Every conversation with your spouse, you get up and you have this plan, but the conversation goes sideways. Every week you get up and you think, this is the week that I'm going to quit, and you fill in the blank. But man, it goes sideways. Are you desperate to win the war in your mind? You see, last week we talked about how in this battle we have an enemy, and Satan, no matter how likable you think you are, wants to crush, kill, and destroy your relationship with God. And in order to do that, he doesn't have to fight us physically, he fights with lies, these strongholds in our lives that we have heard, seen, or experienced many times since childhood, and they have built up this stronghold in our life that is holding us back from achieving the relationship with God and the purpose that God has in our lives until we destroy those lives with truth. And they sound a lot like this: I am not worthy. I'm not loved. I'm not beautiful. No one will ever love me. I will never be happy. I can't change. I've done too much. I've gone too far away. Nobody cares. And we hear these strongholds and they build up in our life, and so often they shape the way we think. And you see that when you come to somebody's life and you say, look, you can change, and they say, no, I can't. I'm stuck. And the way we beat these strongholds of lies is with the truth of God. And so when someone says that you're not worthy, you go to Genesis and you see that you are God's masterpiece. When somebody says, I'm not loved, you go to John 3:16 and it says, for God so loved the world. When it says, I'm not beautiful, it goes to in the scriptures in Psalms where it says, you are beautiful creation, lovingly and sparingly made by God. And when it says, I will never be happy, you go to Revelation where it says there's a new heaven and a new earth. And no matter how bad it gets here, we are promised eternity where all of our tears will be wiped away. You see, we fight lies with truth. We fight lies with truth. Psalms 19:7-10 goes like this. It says, the law of the Lord is perfect and refreshing for the soul. You guys ever been out on a hot day and had a good drink of water? And water doesn't taste good until it's, well, a normal summer day in North Carolina, which means the second level of Hell's Gates, right? And all of a sudden you have a glass of water handed to you with a little bit of ice in it, and it is the best tasting thing in the world because it's refreshing to you. It says the law of the Lord is perfect and refreshing to the soul. It's like a cold breeze on a hot day. The statutes of the Lord are trustworthy, making wise the simple. In other words, he's saying, hey, dummies, you want to get smart? Read my book. The precepts of the Lord are right, giving joy to the heart, and the commands of the Lord are radiant, giving light to the eyes. The fear of the Lord is pure and enduring forever, and the decrees of the Lord are firm, and all of them are righteous. They are more precious than gold. Why? Because they lead us down the right path, and they are sweeter than honey, the honey from the honeycomb. You see, if Satan fights with lies, we have the great countermeasure to that, which is God's truth. So that leads us to our first question in the sermon today. How do we untangle this mess in our mind? I get, Josh, the idea that I need to pair these different lies with truth. But how do I untangle that mess and rewire our brains? You see, if our mind is a junkyard of defeating thoughts, to win the war, we must rewire our brain. And look at this scripture, Romans 12:2. Do not conform. We read this at the beginning of the service for a reason, guys. It's so important. Do not conform to the patterns of this world. You know what the pattern in the world is right now? Stress, negativity, and anger. Have y'all realized that everybody's angry? Guys, I watched grown adults with 20-year friendships throw them away last week over a halftime show. And I thought it was like a satire joke to me. I was like, these guys, I've known them since we were 15. And they are at each other's throats about a halftime show. I didn't even know who was playing the halftime show. They said Bad Bunny, and I thought Bugs Bunny was back. Do not conform to the patterns of this world. Don't get sucked into the drama and the mess and the carnage and the stress and the anxiety of all the things that everybody else is doing. Instead, be transformed by the renewing of our mind, by putting more God in our life than filth. How many of y'all's mamas ever said, what goes in comes out, right? Thumper, speaking of Bad Bunny, said it this way: if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say